สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome back to Custom Knowledge Clips. Last time we talked about duty free zone. Now we will focus on bonded warehouse.
Tax incentives. Bonded warehouse. What is bonded warehouse? It is an area permitted under the Custom Act to be a bonded warehouse. A bonded warehouse is operated for the following purposes: for storage of goods, for display and sales of goods stored therein, for production, mix, assembly, packing, or processing in any manner of goods stored therein. A bonded warehouse for storage of goods is divided into three types. 1. A general bonded warehouse. 2. A bonded warehouse for liquefied petroleum gas or LPG. 3. A bonded warehouse for dock or shipyard. A bonded warehouse for display and sales of goods stored therein is divided into three types. 1. A bonded warehouse for display or exhibition. 2. A bonded warehouse for duty-free shop. 3. A bonded warehouse for international in-flight duty-free sales. A bonded warehouse for production, mix, assembly, packing, or processing in any manner of goods stored therein is divided into two types. 1. A manufacturing bonded warehouse. And 2. A bonded warehouse for in-flight services supplies. An importer and exporter who brings goods into or export out of the above-mentioned bonded warehouses shall be granted the following incentives. Import and export duty shall be exempted for goods released from a bonded warehouse to be exported out of the kingdom, whether or not they are in the same condition as at the time of their importation. A release of such goods shall be deemed as an exportation out of the kingdom in case such goods have been transferred or distributed to another bonded warehouse, duty-free zone, or free trade zone. To importer under Section 29. To any person entitled to a duty exemption under the law on customs tariff. To a person entitled to investment promotion or BOI. An operator can request for a permission to establish a bonded warehouse with the following qualifications. A requester for a license to establish a bonded warehouse must be 1. State enterprise or a governmental agency or a company or juristic partnership. 2. Having a stable financial status. 3. Having no records of serious offense under the custom law or other related laws. 4. Having ownership or possessory right in the legally established area. 5. Not being a person whose license is being suspended or revoked. 6. To be established bonded warehouse shall be located in the proper area where it is easily accessed or controlled by the custom officer. After all related documents are submitted, the customs officer shall examine the documents, consider the specified rules and conditions, inspect the area requested to establish a bonded warehouse, and propose the request to the Director General for consideration. Once the permission is approved, the letter of permission notification shall be sent to the requester to pay for a license fee, 10,000 baht per license, to follow the condition of a bonded warehouse operation. After the licensee is approved that he or she has complied with specified rules and conditions, readiness of the requested area shall be inspected. Once the readiness is qualified, the licensee shall sign a contract of bond with security, deposit a guarantee, and pay for annual fee pursuant to each type of bonded warehouse. A bringing in, a storage, and a release of goods in a bonded warehouse. For each case of bringing in of goods to a bonded warehouse, different types of document are used. For instance, use import goods declaration 0 in a case of imported goods to be stored in a bonded warehouse. Use import goods declaration A in a case of goods transferred or distributed from other privileges, and use import goods declaration C in a case of goods transferred from a duty-free zone or free trade zone. Goods can be stored in a bonded warehouse for 2 years from the date of importation, and their storage can be extended for 1 more year. Once it is due, such goods shall be exported out of the kingdom or be paid for duty, except goods stored in a bonded warehouse for dock or shipyard, for display or exhibition, and for liquefied petroleum gas storage. For each case of a release of goods from a bonded warehouse, different types of documents are also used. For instance, use import goods declaration 1 in a case of goods to be exported out of the kingdom. Use import goods declaration B in a case of goods transferred or distributed to other privileges. Use import goods declaration D in a case of goods transferred or distributed to duty-free zone or free trade zone. And use import goods declaration P in a case of goods brought out of a bonded warehouse for domestic sale or damaged or deteriorating goods. A bringing in, a storage, and a release of goods stored in a bonded warehouse are controlled by the custom unit supervising a bonded warehouse and a bonded warehouse audit section, tax incentive division. Should there be any violation of rules and regulations, legal penalty shall be carried out. In case an operator wishes to dissolve a business of a bonded warehouse, the following steps shall be followed. First step, prior to the date of dissolving the business, the operator shall provide a written notification to the Director General not less than 30 days. Second step, goods shall be brought out of a bonded warehouse and duly pay a duty or other charges, or exported out of the kingdom, or moved to another bonded warehouse, duty-free zone, free trade zone, or distributed to importer under Section 29, or any person entitled to a duty exemption under the law on customs tariff or other laws. Once the license is permitted to be terminated by the Customs Department, it is therefore considered as the complete dissolution of a bonded warehouse. The Director General shall have a power to suspend the license of a bonded warehouse in case any licensee fails to comply or does not duly comply with this Customs Act, ministerial regulations or orders issued by the virtue of this act or conditions set out in the license. A licensee whose license has been suspended shall cease an operation within a specified period of time. However, when a suspended licensee has complied with the laws, orders, and conditions, a license suspension order shall be withdrawn. A license of bonded warehouse might be revoked if a licensee commits one of the following actions: not proceeding an operation within 90 days from the date of granting the license, or stop the operation more than 180 consecutive days without notifying the Director General, having been suspended the license twice or more, violating or failing to comply with the license suspension order, not paying for an annual fee within a specified period of time. Therefore, the licensee granted a permission to establish a bonded warehouse shall strictly comply with related laws, orders, and conditions to be legally entitled to the tax incentive under the customs law on bonded warehouse.